Every Nebraska volleyball season begins with a pursuit to clinch a national championship at season's end. Even though the 2023 season didn't conclude with a fairy tale ending, the journey changed the conversation, as well as the landscape of women's sports. August 30th will always be etched in time as the most unforgettable event in volleyball history.
The Memorial Stadium match put not only Nebraska volleyball on the map, but it put volleyball as a women's sport on the map.
It's still hard to put into words what that happened that night. I mean, it was almost mystical in a way.
People in other countries were watching Volleyball in Nebraska Day saying that's the most amazing volleyball thing that has ever happened in the world.
I think little kids that see volleyball being played on this level will really inspire them to keep wanting to stay in the sport and get to the next level to be in opportunities like that.
Riley picks out Murray on the back row.
All the aspects of the media stuff and the people, everybody coming just to watch one volleyball match is so special for Nebraska and for the sport of volleyball, and I think it's going to continue to help our sport grow.
It's awesome. That was so surreal for me to see as a former player. I credit certainly John Cook for building and growing the sport in Lincoln. His program is tremendous. But I credit that community. I was blown away by that support that those women received. That was tremendous.
That was such a great start to the season because it caught the attention of every fan base across America.
I think it was a defining moment in the history of women's sports. It has elevated the sport of women's volleyball, it's created an interest, and it's been not just in Nebraska, it's been across the country. It was a magical moment that people still have not forgotten about.
With 4 freshmen starting and no seniors on the team, the Huskers rode a wave of momentum to win 27 consecutive matches, winning the program's 4th Big Ten title and locking down the #1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
This group has really blossomed and played their best in the biggest moments. It's not anything we're doing different, it's just the belief in the relationships that they have and the trust that they have, and you know, it's a group of people all working together to try to get it done. And like Lexi told me the stadium night, you know, just try to soak it all in, Coach. So I'm just trying to soak it all in.
When the Huskers advanced to the Final Four in Tampa, Florida, Husker Nation answered the call and traveled by the thousands to the Sunshine State.
I think it's crazy because you never understand how many fans until you're all together.
I've never seen anything like it except for in Lincoln. So it's essentially like bringing Lincoln, Nebraska to Tampa, Florida. Amazing.
It's great. You just say hi to everybody, you know, whether you know them or not. Of course, most people you don't.
The game of volleyball, the way it's just becoming more popular. It's an up-and-coming sport, and I just think it's great for girls' sports in general.
We have a huge fan base, and I'm so excited for all the girls, but also growing up little girls and the volleyball players in Nebraska and across the nation, because it's a sport that should be celebrated.
1.7 million viewers tuned into ABC for the national championship between Texas and Nebraska, marking the highest television audience for a college volleyball match in history.
To be part of such a historical moment for this sport is incredible. And when we're all in it together and driving this positive momentum forward, it's good for the sport. It's good for all of our networks, but most importantly, it pays tribute to, you know, the athletes and the people that are on the court every day working towards something so great.
Once you get people seeing it live, they fall in love with it. I think the stadium match had major exposure to a lot of people, and I think we're seeing the fallout from that.
I just think that day in Memorial Stadium, it kind of showed that and showed the team we are and how much we love playing together. And ever since then, I feel like it's just grown so much.
The growth of the sport has been insurmountable. It's been exponential. We haven't seen something like this in a women's sport in a really long time.
It's well-deserved. I feel like a lot of people have been late to the party because if you've been around the sport, you know how great it is and you know how incredible these women are. I think you'll look back to this 2023 season for Nebraska and, of course, starting the season with 92,000 fans in a football stadium to watch you play and then to march your way through the Big Ten and only lose one time and then make your way to a national title is pretty tremendous and speaks to, I think, the leadership of the team, the talent of the team, but definitely the staff has done right by these women.